So once this approaches you, if you're driving on Interstate 10, you've got to pull off at a gas station or restaurant, something like that, and wait this part of the line out, the strongest part of the line out. Then you'll be clear to go. So that's the best course of action for you if you're driving. You cannot be driving while this thing is going on. And when we were live on Fox 10, I was shocked at the amount of people that were driving. That were actually driving while this thing was going on in Baldwin County. So our advice always when we have a severe thunderstorm like this is you've got to get into a place where it is safe, a sheltered building, a sturdy building. That is always the best advice to do. Trying to get to the Facebook comments here. So we can address some more of those. Please also in the Facebook comments, please let us know. Please let us know if you have any damage. I can't report very much on damage at this point because I really don't have a lot of damage reports in. I have reports of trees down. In fact, seeing large tree down on 181 and 104. That's near Church of His Presence. If you're familiar with that, it is a large church that is on 181 there. Looking at some other reports here. Let me see if we have any new photos coming in. A reminder that you can send in your photos on the Fox 10 weather app. Oh, goodness. We have one photo that just came in, and I'll be able to take this on air in just a moment. This is a tree down Fairhope near 181. Hemlock Road, Fairhope. All right, so we're going to take some of these photos to air here. If you'll give me 1 second. Let's go ahead and grab this one. This is just a sample of some of the damage that we have seen. This photo in Fairhope shows us, let me pull up the right photo here. Give me 1 moment. Let's see. Trying to pull up those photos right now, if you'll give me a second. But right now what is happening is a severe thunderstorm is moving through northwest Florida, specifically Escambia County at this point with very strong winds. It is advised that you stay inside away from windows. That is the best thing for you to do as we have this very strong thunderstorm that is moving in right now. This thunderstorm moving through places like Molino is capable of producing damaging winds of around 60 miles per hour. So this is what it looks like right now. Molino, Gwinnett, you have heavy thunderstorm winds that are going on. Pace will be next in line. Charlie, to answer your Facebook question, did we get another severe thunderstorm warning in Mobile or Tillman's Corner, or is my phone just being slow? We do not have any active warnings for Mobile County. Mobile County, you are done with your threat for the rest of the morning and early afternoon. You are done with your threat. So here's a look at the big picture. You can see just light to moderate rain. We have no threat right now in Mobile County. Baldwin County, most of Baldwin County is all clear as well. Most of Baldwin County is all clear. Right now, the concern is Escambia County, and eventually it will be in Santa Rosa County as well here. Trying to pull up some of these photos, it's a little difficult to get going here. So this is one photo sent in from Thomas in Fairhope. We'll take this full. This is just a sample of some of the damage that we have seen here. You can see that looks like a older tree, but this is the village at Fairthorn, just off 181 here, and you can see a tree that was knocked down. This was some of the area that we had where we had damaging winds. Let's look at the live radar again. I'm going to pull up some more of these photos. If you want to get your photo into us, how do you do it? You can submit it on the Fox 10 weather app. That is the best way to do it, because that way I have the ability to pull it right up on here on our screen right now. So this is Fairhope just off of 181. This is a tree that just missed these cars. Here's the picture as we get a new severe thunderstorm warning that's issued. So this is on 181. We have this photo of a tree down, just missed their cars here. So again, Fairhope was one of those places that had lots and lots of damage. It seems like lots, at least, trees down, and that's a serious thing. Looking at the Facebook comments real quick. Still let us know in the Facebook comments if you have any reports of damage. That would be greatly appreciated so we can get an understanding of what is going on. Quick update on what's happened. We just had a new severe thunderstorm warning, or an update to the severe thunderstorm warning, I should say, and that severe thunderstorm warning continues for Escambia County and Santa Rosa County. I can go ahead and give an all clear to Baldwin County. So we can give an all clear to Baldwin County for the severe weather threat. Now this line of strong damaging winds is pushing off to the east, about to move into Santa Rosa County. So right now Escambia County is getting the worst of the wind. Santa Rosa County, you're next. If you're in Milton, be ready because you got some strong winds coming your way. They're not as strong as they were before, but they are still strong enough. We are no longer advising that you need to be in a small room, interior room away from windows. We're not doing tornado precaution at this moment, but we're telling you want to be inside. You don't want to be driving in this because this is a very strong thunderstorm. Molino, Allentown will be next in line here. You're not under a severe thunderstorm warning yet in Allentown, but we might see one downstream issued shortly. Here's a look at the velocity. You can see some of the stronger winds there sampling this here. This is wind velocities that have been really extraordinarily strong. 67, 60 miles per hour, kind of hopping some of the pixels, but 67 miles per hour there. That is extremely strong wind that we're seeing moving through Cantonment, about to move into Santa Rosa County here. So I've been keeping an eye on our viewer photos submitted on the Fox 10 weather app. So please send yours in. I showed a couple from the Fairhope area here, and I'll leave the radar screen up so you can see that. Let me grab a couple others. This is Bay Minette Sports Academy. Apparently we do have some trees down in that area. Looks like this one. Let me go ahead and grab this. This is 64 off the sports park there. So Reese sent this one in. Pull this up here. Another photo in of some large branches down. That is on County Road 64, near County Road 64. That is the sports complex that's on 64, if you're familiar with that area. The sports complex there, that looks to be, if my memory served me correctly, it looks to be one of the roads to get you down to the sports complex. So again, this is on 64, Daphne Road, very near the that is the Ascension Christian School, one of the apartment complexes there, the Baysides Academy Sports Complex. That is where we have this damage that you're seeing there. So again, there's damage that has been reported. Continue to please send those reports. Also, we have a severe thunderstorm that continues. They're about to draft a new severe thunderstorm warning here. This severe thunderstorm warning will probably extend out here as we still have a swath of potentially damaging winds. This is going to sweep across Santa Rosa County here. Allentown and Milton are my next places in line where I really want you to go ahead and get inside and make sure you're ready for some wind, because we could have some strong winds happening soon. There's the radar loop again. You can see this Boeing segment. What's happening is there's strong winds punching in on the back side of this here, and that is really causing some issues with very strong winds, and it's caused some damage that we have seen recently here. So continue to submit your damage photos here on the Fox 10 weather app. This is a photo from Jubilee Farms. Luane sent this in. Jubilee Farms in Daphne. Some snapped trees. We'll take this photo now. Snapped trees in Daphne. Juane sent this in. And you can see that's serious damage from serious winds that happened there. So again, this was a serious situation that went through Baldwin County earlier. Now the threat is for Escambia and Santa Rosa counties here. And let us know in the Facebook comments, please, if you have If you're watching, by the way, if you're watching on your phone, the Facebook comments are a little easier, so you can actually comment in there, and please let us know if you have any damage reports. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning has just been issued. It will include Santa Rosa and Okaloosa counties. This does include Gulf Breeze, Navarre, Milton, Crestview, Fort Walton Beach, Eglin Air Force Base, Allentown, Baker, Florida. It is south. The polygon for this warning, does include Munson, Beaver Creek, Cannon Town. So if you live along Highway 4 in Santa Rosa County or Okaloosa County, you have a severe thunderstorm warning that's just been issued for you. Allentown, Indian Ford, Milton, Baghdad, Avalon Beach. You are next in line for strong winds as a thunderstorm is rolling through. Let's look at the live velocity. This velocity product shows us wind. And you can see here, now these numbers are probably a little elevated, a little higher than they actually are at the ground, but we are still seeing velocities of around 70 miles per hour, and that is a serious severe thunderstorm warning. So again, Pensacola, you have heavy wind that is going on at this point, but just north of Pensacola and Cantonment, about to move into Milton, we have some very serious wind that is going on. You've got to be inside away from windows if you are in Milton very soon here, as we have a very strong thunderstorm that is going on. This is what it looks like right now. Looking at it, Pace, Milton, Willard Norris Road, Allentown, up Florida 87, Indian Ford. That is where I think this swath of very heavy wind will move like that. So you've got to be in a place of shelter here. Tracking it out for you, this storm is moving off to the east at about 45 miles per hour. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sample the part that is the strongest wind, and we're going to do a track on that for the next 30 minutes. So this is the area of strongest winds, tracking out at 45 miles per hour. Here's some of the locations impacted and the potential arrival times. Milton happening now. Allentown at 9:47 or 10:47 for very strong winds. Broxton at 10:52. Indian Ford at 10:54 for the arrival of potentially very strong winds. Floridale at 10:59. 11:07 for Holt. Some of the locations ahead of some very strong winds. I'll leave that up for a second. We're going to quickly take a look at some more reports coming in. Looks like we have reports of trees uprooted Baldwin County near 181. That has been the story here. A lot of tree damage right now, it seems like, in the Daphne area, Montrose area, 104, 64, just some of those areas that are dealing with that because of a severe thunderstorm that has rolled through. So again, we have a severe thunderstorm warning that does continue for Santa Rosa County, as we have strong thunderstorm that is pushing now east into Santa Rosa County. Give me 1 second here. We are just sharing some of our live streams here. All right, we're sharing that live stream on Facebook real quick. But then again, this is what you're looking at. This is our core of strongest winds happening right now that is about to be moving into Milton very shortly. That is going to cause the potential for 60 to 70 mile per hour winds and some damage. So you want you to be in an interior room away from windows quickly, as we do have that possibly going on with some damaging winds. We have had plenty of reports of trees down in Daphne, wind damage to fences there. Looks like the sports park off of 64 there, that's Bayside Academy Sports Complex, had some damage. damage off 181 with a tree, a large pecan tree down. Some of the photos that I'm seeing here. We're going to actually get this one posted, so I'll share this in a second on the live stream. But already we are seeing many reports of damage here. So forgive me, y'all, I am kind of doing 6 things at once. But right now we have a severe thunderstorm moving through Milton that is producing damaging winds. We are dealing with damage reports right now from Daphne, as we had an area, this same swath of severe winds that is now moving off to the east. And one of the areas where we've seen reports, this is 181 seems to be a focus area in Baldwin County. 181 and 64 seems to be a focus area for these damage reports. Daphne Bell Forest area, really. And give me one moment here. And I will pull up this image. So we have an image that has just come in of a pretty healthy tree down in Baldwin County. I'll have to grab this image again if you give me 1 second. So this is one of the images that we're looking at here. This is some of the damage that this line of storms has caused. This is in Baldwin County near 181. Large pecan tree taken down there in those damaging winds. As we get the new scan in on radar, we're going to go to radar real quick. Milton, you're getting impacted by the heaviest of the thunderstorm right now with some strong winds as well. Still monitoring for rotation there. Moving off to the east, next place in line, if you're along Interstate 10 and 90, no driving on Interstate 10 in eastern Santa Rosa County or Okaloosa County, as we have this line of storms that is rolling through. That is going to cause some issues there near Floridale, US 90, Interstate 10. Be ready for those strong winds. This line of storms is moving off to the east here. And what we're doing right now, we're sharing some of these damage photos that we have gotten. We're sharing those on our Facebook page. Reports now from Rock Creek of a tree down on a home. Or excuse me, now this report says at least 3 trees, or 3 houses with trees on them in the Rock Creek area. So 3 places with trees on houses there in the Rock Creek area. The latest report from a group in Fairhope there. So it looks like we had some pretty significant damage in Rock Creek. And if you have any damage reports, please send them in to us on the Fox 10 Weather app. That would be greatly appreciated. So we can get those in. So the latest update here right now is still severe thunderstorm warning does continue for portions of Santa Rosa and Okaloosa County. Milton is the place that is focusing in right now on some of the heaviest wind. Also, if you're near Molino, you have some heavy rain that's going on at this point. Looking at the velocity, there's still that area of weak rotation. Turbulent skies are probably seeing right now. The winds are not as strong there. Chumuckla and Allentown, it looks like maybe the strongest winds have moved just off to your south, but close enough there where we want to pay attention still to what is going on. So again, severe thunderstorm warning does continue for those areas. And a reminder, if you want to download the Fox 10 Weather app, the link to download the Fox 10 Weather app is in the Facebook chat. So there you can check that out. But we continue with a severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued for Santa Rosa and Okaloosa counties. And again, what I'm doing right now is actually pushing out these photos that we have gotten of some of the storm damage. If you can head to my Facebook page, you'll be able to see some of those there once I get them up. But it does really look like we had a pretty significant complex of thunderstorms that rolled through the Daphne area earlier on. And you're looking at live radar of the storm that continues to weaken just a little bit, but still some gusty winds there. And about to put this up on Facebook. All right, so the latest information right now that we have is continuing with a severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued for Santa Rosa County. This also is continuing for Okaloosa County. There we have an area of strong winds that'll be pushing in. It's already moving through Milton right now, and eventually will get its way towards places like Holt, Florida, Galliver, Milligan, Parkerville, Indian Ford. That is where some of the heavy wind is about to get to here. And finally, I've just shared that tree damage report on my Facebook. So if you want to see that out there, and please also send in more reports if you can of damage. If you have any damage to report, send those in on the Fox 10 weather app here. And we're keeping our eyes out for those. So you're looking at live radar. This is what we're seeing. Galliver, Floridale, Parkerville will be some of the areas that get the heavier wind. This thing's still holding on. The winds are not as strong. The wind velocities have come down just a little bit, but still enough to where there's an issue here. So they've kept a severe thunderstorm warning in place. It's still clearly we're going to have a line of thunderstorms that's capable of producing maybe around 60 to possibly up to 70 mile per hour winds if we continue to see some re-strengthening here. Quick update. With the overall weather situation, line of severe thunderstorms continuing to move east across Santa Rosa and Okaloosa County. The atmosphere is still very unstable at this point. And this environmental profile over the next hour or so, as it moves closer to Okaloosa County, does still favor that potential for damaging winds. Therefore, we're going to keep that threat of potential damaging winds in this line of storms near 70 miles per hour as it moves across Okaloosa County. So, Crestview, you have quite the heads up here for a line of storms that is going to be approaching very soon here within the next hour or so. In fact, what I'm going to do is we're going to time this out. Again, this storm is moving to the east at around 45 miles per hour. We're going to do an hour-long track on this line of thunderstorms here. Get you some arrival times. So a possible arrival for this line of storms in Crestview at 11:24 a.m. 11:24 a.m. for Crestview. That is your time you have between now and when the line gets to you, and we could see some potentially damaging winds. Broxton, that line is on you right now at this point. Navarre and some of our coastal areas, Navarre, Fort Walton Beach, Destin, I think the threat for damaging winds is lower for you, but still, out of respect to the severe thunderstorm warning, understand that you might get some gusty winds. That arrival time at Fort Walton Beach is 11:28, 11:39. For Destin, 11:48 for Choctaw Beach. So I'll leave that up for a second. Still looking at damage photos coming in here. The Jubilee Farms community, looks like we've had some damage. Brandon sent this one in at Jubilee Farms in Daphne. I'll get this downloaded so we can show you. Jubilee Farms in Daphne. Looks like lots of fences blown out. That little tree I think that's completely uprooted there. And also you see trampoline that has been blown. One trampoline stayed, one trampoline blown into somebody's yard. This is Jubilee Farms in Daphne. Just a sample of some of the damage that we could see with this line of storms as it moves across northwest Florida here. A reminder, you can send in those photos on the Fox 10 weather app. We'll get this one shared as well. So this photo that I just showed, that was from the Daphne area Jubilee Farms. So we're still tracking this severe thunderstorm. I'm kind of multitasking here, guys, so that's why I'm going silent for a second. I'm dealing with social media posts, trying to gather some of these reports, also looking at the updates from the National Weather Service. But that track that you see on your screen, tracking out that area of still ongoing severe thunderstorms, and that is in Escambia and Santa Rosa County. A little update to the warning there. They are going to continue the severe thunderstorm warning for Santa Rosa and Okaloosa County. The threat now, winds of 60 miles per hour, moving east at 45 miles per hour. Impact, possible damage to roofs, siding, and trees. Locations impacted include Cinco Bayou, Ocean City, Mary Esther, Fort Walton Beach, Shalimar, Crestview, Wright, Point Baker, Lake Lorraine, Oriole Beach, Navarre Beach, Pea Ridge, Pace, Baker, Rowville, Baghdad, Florida Town, Eglin Air Force Base, Milton, and Navarre. So those are the next places in line for the line of thunderstorms. That is where that severe thunderstorm, excuse me, where that severe thunderstorm warning has been issued. So that's the line of storms there. Quick review at what has happened so far, and I'll check the Facebook comments in a moment here so we can see. Let us know if you have any questions in the Facebook comments. We will gladly address those. I know it has calmed down significantly for a lot of us here. But this is the radar over the last hour, a line of storms that has rolled through. And this storm has produced a decent amount of damage with some trees, fences down, stuff like that, and in the Daphne area mostly. And what we're doing right now is actually posting some of this on our social media, so be on the lookout for some of these photos. Here. And there's that 1 hour loop of the storms again as it pushes off to the east. All right, just posting something to social media there. That's your Jubilee Farms. All right. Checking in on what's going on right now with a quick update. You are looking at the severe thunderstorm warning that has just been, or continues, for Santa Rosa and Okaloosa counties here. Potential damaging winds and a thunderstorm that's moving off to the east. I will tell you, good news here, that over the last 10 minutes, or so, we have seen the velocities, the speed of the winds in the storm come down very slightly. The colors, as you can see here, are not as bright. They're still bright. They're not as bright as they were, but they're still moving through places like Milton and Pace. Milton and Pace right now have some of the heaviest wind, but the line of severe thunderstorms currently crossing Highway 87. Winds in excess of 60 miles per hour are possible in Milton, south to near Holly, Garcon Point, Avalon Beach. And this this severe thunderstorm warning does still have a tornado possible tag, accounting for the possibility of a spin-up tornado here. These storms will be capable of producing damage to trees, possibly downing power lines, fences, small structures. So with winds of 60 miles per hour, you have to make sure that you are inside, away from windows in places like Milton, Floridale, as the storms move off to their east. So it's essentially going right along Interstate 10. In US 90. These storms may be right along US 90 and Interstate 10 there. Crestview, eventually you'll be in line for this if these hold together. The environment does support this line of storms holding together. So that is the latest on the severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag here. I'm going to go back, check some of the photos that have been submitted to us here on our app. But we thank you so much for submitting these photos. This is another impressive photo here, submitted by Reese. Ross Creek Clubhouse Drive. This is in Baldwin County, Ross Creek, north side of Fairhope, Rock Creek Drive. Yeah, that's kind of the center avenue there. That is a very large oak tree taken down by the damaging winds. So that is a photo from Rock Creek. And that photo submitted to us just moments ago. So thank you by Reese for sending that one in. This is the kind of stuff that we need. You've got to send these kinds of photos in. So you can do that on the Fox 10 Weather app. This is so helpful. Now, don't go out looking for this kind of stuff, but if this is in your area and you happen to see it, please, it helps us out so much to get this. So damaging wind event, Rock Creek area. And I already have seen reports of trees on houses in the Rock Creek neighborhood. So if you have any photos of that, please send it in. So that last photo that I showed was in Rock Creek. Again, just an example of what these thunderstorms are capable of doing. And there's been examples of some larger trees getting uprooted there with these storms as well. And that's seriously impressive. That shows you just how strong these winds were. So again, what you're looking at right now is the live velocity signature. I'll switch to reflectivity real quick. This is a line of storms that's still holding together, and that's pushing through Santa Rosa County. It's about to enter Okaloosa County here. Strong winds going on. You have to make sure that you are keeping yourself safe. I wouldn't be driving around at this point, as very, very strong winds are definitely a possibility. And we're still posting some of this damage here. on Facebook, so be sure to check out our Facebook. All right. Trying to get some of these posts out here. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning that continues with a tornado possible tag for Santa Rosa and Okaloosa County. Let's go ahead and do some inspecting here on the velocity. Good news is there's been a downtrend in the velocity, not seeing as much. We're still watching this. You see that area of red and green, right? Kind of generally close to each other. This is something that we have to watch for a possible area of rotation. Just one of the many areas that we've been tracking. And that could also produce some damage if it tightens up, so we have to watch that closely here. That's not an imminent tornado threat. And then you see this area of green, we have strong winds. That almost bluish color that's blowing through Milton, Pine Bluff right now. So a lot of stuff going on with these storms that have rolled through our area. And we now have our crews looking around at some of the damage here. As we're still keeping you updated with this live stream. We're also live on air right now, but just wanted to have a second source for you if you want kind of a more constant flow of information here. This is what we're looking at, an area of strong thunderstorms rolling through Santa Rosa County, getting into Okaloosa County pretty soon here. But this strongest part of the storm is moving along US 90 and Interstate 10. So be careful if you're driving on Interstate 10. I'm getting some photos in of what's happening now. If you have any photos or videos that you took during the storm, please submit those as well. We'd love to see what it looked like as the storm was passing, along with those damage photos. Those are, I cannot stress how much of a help those are. It looks like damage from the Jubilee Farms area is particularly notable. For reference, you're looking at a live radar picture right now, but I'm going to talk about Jubilee Farms. Jubilee Farms is near 104, if my memory serves, and 181. And we literally called out that neighborhood on air, just south of Austin Road. That's that large community, lots of houses, set back from 181, also near County Road 54. It looks like that is where we had some of the most significant damage. And if I were to take this back, we'll take this radar back. Here, I'll go over the last few hours so we can see what happened here. Ignore the alerts on here. So what we're looking at has been the last few hours. At 9 o'clock this morning, we had a tornado that touched down right here near Magnolia Grove. This was a radar confirmed tornado, and you can see the circulation right there. This was at 9 o'clock this morning. Locations impacted by this potential tornado include Southampton Way, Princeton Woods, Purtney Lane, Williams Toe Curve, Woolwich Drive North. This was the area at 9 a.m. this morning that had a potential tornado. And it was radar confirmed briefly by correlation coefficient. You see that little drop there in correlation coefficient, that little yellow circle, that is debris being lofted. So we had a small tornado that occurred there. This moved off to the north. North University, Bear Fork, High Point Boulevard. And I think the tornado lifted at that point there. That was at 9 o'clock this morning. The remnant circulation went up to Saraland. We gave you the all clear there. Then this evolved. An incredible rotation area developed over Mobile Bay, and this storm completely gusted out, causing very serious wind damage for portions of Montrose. So in between Daphne and Fairhope, the community of Montrose. Some of the heaviest wind was in Rock Creek. This is also Woodlands, that community there. Rock Creek, right here, Clubhouse Drive is the main one, and this is where we had some of the heaviest wind that happened. And putting this into motion here, so that was at 9:45. 9:46, it moved on to the Jubilee Farms, Secretariat Boulevard, Dunmore as well, with significant wind. This was at 9:46. Avalon Boulevard, that's County Road 54. That is where the damaged swath went there. Then the winds weakened a bit, but they continued into County Road 55 near Thompson Road and Barlow Road. The Lakeland Drive subdivision there. Lakeland Drive, and I'm assuming that is the Lakeland subdivision there. Ranagua Boulevard there, Prado Loop, Thompson Road there. As you got to US 90, that was where some of the heaviest wind was. This continued near Baldwin Beach Express. The wind slightly weaker, but still significant, just south of Buc-ee's. Those roads there include County Road 62 North, Newport Road. That is where that went at 10:04. And then started to weaken a little bit, but still held itself together as it moved across Escambia County and then Santa Rosa County. And now that is where we are now, the current picture. A weaker storm there. A weaker storm there in northern Santa Rosa County getting into Okaloosa County. A comment here on the Facebook page. Fox 10 News app stopped airing today's local current news and why it happened. I noticed this earlier that some of the current videos were not going on correctly. I believe the live stream was still working. We were still investigating that, and I did see that before. So that is why, of course, we have the secondary streams like the Facebook Live and YouTube and stuff like that. But I know that happened, and don't worry, we are going to deal with whatever happened there. And try to make sure that doesn't happen again if there was an app issue there. I noticed earlier that we were dealing with some issues with some of our videos getting posted correctly. Sometimes that happens with this system. The system that provides our app, we just have to deal with that. So apologies if that happened. I know there are ads on the app too. That's something that we don't want, but that is something that is typically on the app, and we have limited control over that. So addressing the app there, still if you can, use the app to get alerts, notified when something like a tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warning is issued. Always a great tool, and also you can submit your photos there, and that is the big thing. Madeline, to answer your question, would it be okay to drive from Fairhope to Alberta? Yes. Right now you are fine in Baldwin County. Baldwin County is okay. Completely okay. But yes, download the Fox 10 weather app there in the link put into the chat. Right now we're going to get a new severe thunderstorm warning that will be issued for the northern end of the line here. So northern Santa Rosa and northern Okaloosa County. It did look like we had some damage in Orange Beach too. A tree fallen on the boardwalk reported by emergency manager in Orange Beach. So some of the things that are going on there. And we thank you for submitting all of these photos here. It is a great help to us. We're going to continue with severe thunderstorm warnings for the next little bit here. Santa Rosa and Okaloosa County seem to be my main concern areas at this point. But in all honesty, excuse me, almost tripped myself with my cord here. In all honesty, kind of how this day has gone so far, it escalated really, really quite quickly when we had the tornado warning that was issued. I believe we had a tornado that happened near Magnolia Grove Golf Course. And I was mentioning that earlier, and I have not seen any photos from that area, so I can't confirm what has happened, but still, it looks like we did have that tornado there. It was really close to the radar, so we got a great view of it, and we're able to go on and talk about that tornado warning live. So here's your new severe thunderstorm warning, and I'm glad they're issuing this. I'm going to be completely honest, the southern half of this warning, it is just not where it needs to be. It is not as strong. We're going to focus on the northern half of the warning. This does include a small portion of Escambia County, Alabama as well. So here's your part of the storm that is producing potentially damaging winds. Severe thunderstorm warning. It's been issued for Escambia, Okaloosa, Covington, Santa Rosa. And Escambia, Alabama, by the way, not Escambia, Florida. Escambia, Alabama, for this area that is moving off to the east here. So those areas, Blackman, Nubbin Ridge, Munson, if you live north of Highway 4 in Santa Rosa, Okaloosa County, Bradley, McClellan, you're going to want to be ready for a strong thunderstorm moving your way. It is not as strong as it was. We will also note that this severe thunderstorm warning does still have a tornado possible tag on it, which I think is a great decision by the National Weather Service, as we still have some rotation that is occurring there. Here's a look at the bigger picture. We have dropped the severe thunderstorm warning now for southern Santa Rosa and Okaloosa County. So not a complete all clear for Okaloosa County, since we're still going to have a line of thunderstorms going through, but Santa Rosa County, southern half of the county, if you're south of Interstate 10, that is an all clear to you. You are good. Escambia County, all clear. Escambia County, all clear. Baldwin County, all clear. Mobile County, all clear. Right now, our only concern is this thing ahead of the line in Okaloosa County and northern Santa Rosa County there. So that's what's happening there. Live radar, we'll go ahead and leave this up for a second and kind of parse through some of these alerts and reports that we have had. But again, severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag for northern Santa Rosa and Okaloosa counties. Please let us know if you have any other reports to give. I'm checking in on some of my Facebook sources here. Looks like we do also have significant power outages in the Montrose area. That is included near Rock Creek. Pretty significant power outages there as a result of these strong thunderstorms. And power is on the way to be restored as soon as they can. Of course, the weather conditions are much better now. Still trying to keep an eye out on some of the reports that we have had. Looking at our latest photos. Don't have anything new, but again, if you have any damaged photos to send in, please send them in on the Fox 10 Weather app. It's stuff that we need so we can see what's going on. So continuing with a severe thunderstorm warning here for Santa Rosa and Okaloosa counties and Escambia County, Alabama, with a tornado possible tag. Looking at the velocity and inspecting this here, we do have an area of broad, we'll call it rotation here. Loop this over the short term. It is this area back in here that we're going to be watching for something to happen, if or anything rotation-wise. The rotation is very broad, and also this area is producing some strong winds. If we go to the live picture, sample some of the velocities here, nothing crazy, but possibly winds up to around 60 or 50 miles per hour as it moves across Munson. So Munson, you are in line right now for a heavy thunderstorm, potentially producing some strong winds. So this ended up being a really significant weather event for us here. Significant thunderstorm rolled through a very populated area with a tornado reported, or likely reported, in Mobile County, and then Baldwin County with a serious damaging wind event. And we want you to stay updated with us. Please send in your photos on the Fox 10 weather app. That's proven vital. Checking in on some of the stuff going on here. We're still live here on the Fox 10 Facebook page for severe weather coverage. Just checking in on some of the reports here, still seeing more photos from Jubilee Farms, the community off 181 there. Does really look like we had some serious stuff there with wind damage. Looking at some of the reports right now. All right, your time now is 11:21. Let's go ahead and get an update on the radar here with what's going on. We continue with a severe thunderstorm warning for essentially the Munson area. This is northwestern Santa Rosa County and far northern Okaloosa County. Keeping my eyes on this back here for the potential of some rotation. And of course, if we get another issue with a warning, we will interrupt if needed, but it does look like that is somewhat tightening. We're going to keep an eye on that. If you are near Bellenville, McClellan, Sellersville, Munson Highway, be ready to hit an interior room, as we do have some very strong winds and some possible rotation in your area. Now, good news is that is a very rural area. Munson Highway, 3-notch trail over Street Road. There are just there's a couple, quite a few homes there along Munson Highway on the north end of Santa Rosa County near the state line. If you're in McClellan, you're having a strong thunderstorm, so be ready for that. The next kind of road in line there is Beaver Creek Road. And then Bradley as well, we'll keep an eye on things. Blackwater Road, as we have this strong thunderstorm coming your way. Good news is this is a very rural area that this is moving into. So there's your severe thunderstorm warning. We're watching that back there, along with some strong winds. All right, it is now 11:25. We're following a severe thunderstorm here in northwestern Santa Rosa County, moving into Okaloosa County. And this thunderstorm does have a tornado possible tag with it. We could see a brief spin up, so just kind of keep your attention here on your phone and make sure you have a way to get alerts. Good news, this is a very rural area that this is moving into. The reflectivity does show an area of possible stronger winds here and heavy rain that is moving just north of Munson in this more rural part of Santa Rosa County into Okaloosa County here very shortly. And we'll kind of keep you updated. I'm just kind of waiting on new scans here to see how this evolves. But again, it looks like we're going to keep with this severe thunderstorm warning. And I do think that there is some strong winds that could be moving through Munson right now. So if you're in Munson, be ready. Be ready for some stronger winds there. And there's the new scan coming in. And yeah, you can see that there's a bit of an area of rotation that is trying to develop over Munson right now. It's broad, very broad, but something we'll watch over the next few moments. Beaver Creek next to the line. Again, this is very rural, so that is kind of a good thing. But if you live along 189 there in northern Okaloosa County, you're definitely going to want to pay attention. So we're still following this area of rotation, and also strong winds moving through northern Okaloosa County and Santa Rosa County now. I'm going to stay with us for a little longer here live, and then we'll go from there. But right now it does seem that we still have something to keep an eye on for sure. Good news is if you're down in Fort Walton Beach, not as much strong winds, but you're about to get some heavy rain very briefly here. Wright, Florida as well, Lake Lorraine, Niceville, all of these areas, you're going to get this line that pushes through, and that's not producing super damaging winds, but it is producing some gusty winds here, probably around 20 to 30 miles per hour. Could get up to 20 or 30 miles per hour. And once this line passes you, your severe weather threat is done there. So we're still kind of watching the radar on this. But the good thing is, again, I've said it before, this is a rural area. And what I'm doing is switching between the regular wind velocity measured by the radar at Eglin Air Force Base, and this relative velocity product subtracts the storm motion. So subtract storm motion so I can really see the motion inside the storm, and I can see what's spinning and what's not. It gives me a little better perspective, and I can see the red and green kind of closer to each other a little bit there, but nothing super significant at this moment. Still a stronger storm there. And we'll lead the velocity up as we continue with that warning. All right, it's 11:30 here, and we're still following a severe thunderstorm warning for northern Santa Rosa and Okaloosa counties, also clipping Bradley there in Escambia County, Florida, or Alabama. Excuse me, Escambia County, Alabama. Thunderstorm capable of producing damaging winds, and still has, I believe, that tornado possible tag here. Yeah, so we're watching for any rotation that could develop there. This will last over the next hour or two. This line, or say what's left of this line, will last over the next hour or two as it pushes off to the east. Here's a bigger picture of what's going on right now. This line of storms moving off to the east at around 45 miles per hour. That means it's getting to descent around 11:42 here, so very, very soon. Florella by around 11:58, Defuniak Springs at 12:08. So possibly this thing, we could be done with the severe thunderstorm warning part maybe in the next 10 to 15 minutes for at least our Fox 10 viewing area. But again, that is your stronger part of the thunderstorm, with a severe warned part up here near Munson, moving off that way there. Let's go ahead and zoom in and check this out again. There's a look at it. And again, not seeing anything super impressive. In fact, there's been a kind of a weakening trend. And you know, with that weakening trend, it makes me feel a little more confident here. I'm going to give it one more scan, and then we might be able to drop off the live. We are still live on Fox 10, but I just want to kind of give constant coverage for that one, just in case. New update from the Storm Prediction Center does trim our area out of the marginal risk of severe weather, except for the Northwest Florida Panhandle. So, again, keeping a threat for strong severe storms as this line passes, and then once this line passes you, you are done with that. But the latest scans here look really promising. You see how broad that looks there. It looks like the winds are definitely weaker, so definitely a downtrend in that warning there. So what's going to be happening over the next few hours? Let's go ahead and head to the home view and talk about the summary for our area. This is the big picture right now. You have a severe thunderstorm warning that continues for portions of Okaloosa County, but the storm is definitely weaker than it was. We'll keep an eye on it over the next little bit. The atmosphere has been pretty worked over. We could see some evening thunderstorms. I do not think those will be strong to severe. This was a special environment that we had where we had the potential for some storms that produce damaging winds, and these really got going. Again, a couple reminders. You can submit your pictures and videos on the Fox 10 Weather app, and we greatly appreciate that. We could see more sent in. That would be great, because that really helps us pick out where the damage was, so we can be able to get that information out as well. Also, we had a tornado that likely occurred near Magnolia Grove Golf Course in Mobile County earlier today around 9 a.m. If you have any damage photos from that area, or any photos, please send it in there. We would greatly appreciate it. You can get that on the Fox 10 Weather app. But for now, we're going to leave it here, as the severe thunderstorm is weakening at this point. Severe thunderstorm warning does continue for a little while longer here for portions of Santa Rosa, Okaloosa, and Escambia County, Alabama, also Covington County, Alabama. But right now, severe weather threat is going down, and we have a calmer afternoon ahead. For now, I'm meteorologist Nicholas Raboso.